Good morning, students. Today we are moving towards another portion of end of bipolarity, that is shock therapy system. How did shock therapy system processed or went through the USSR? Okay, what is shock therapy? First of all, we should know what is shock therapy. Most of the students, when I ask them in the class, often, what is shock therapy? They say, ma'am, shock therapy means the shock treatment given to the patients. Yeah, it is true to some extent, but shock therapy has also other meaning. So let's start. Shock therapy means a shock treatment. It is the extreme method to change a system or solve a problem as quickly as possible. Means to change any system whichever possible as quickly as possible through in a very radical manner. That is called shock therapy. Okay, now what did shock therapy has to do with the collapse of Soviet Union or bipolarity system? Okay, let's see. After the collapse of communism, the USSR and Eastern Europe tried to break away from centrally planned economy or socialist economy to capitalist economy. They adopted capitalism policy. This process of transition from socialism to capitalism is known as shock therapy. Now, we have seen that 1991 Boris Yeltsin became the president of Russia. He has given a call to the people that he will transform the whole old system, that socialist economy that was not working in USSR, and that will be transformed into capitalist economy like the West, and he can do it like he has planned it, he has promised the people, but how? Now, this process, they have changed that process. They have changed from planned economy or socialist economy to capitalist economy. And in that process of transition, the process that was carried on is known as shock therapy. Now, why it is known as shock therapy? We will see many things happened in that process. So, we will see that thing. Okay, just follow it. Now, I have given a diagram there. Socialism or planned economy, that is governmental, it is transforming to shock through a process. That process is known as shock therapy, and it transforms into what? Capitalism or privatization policy. Okay. Now, this process of transition was radical. It was not a very, very smoothful process. Okay, because the system, whole of the USSR system is breaking up at that time. Gorbachev has resigned. Boris Yeltsin emerged as a new president, a new leader that is leading the people. People were not in a very beneficial mood at that time. People all came out at the street. They were processing for this process which is not working for their beneficiary needs. So in that system, the sudden transformation from communism to capitalism policy was not very easy. So it was radical, sudden, painful and difficult. Painful in that sense because many people, the system, the governmental system whole went through a very, very painful process at that time. Okay, let's see, move forward. Under the system, the former USSR destroyed all structures that was adopted earlier. Mane, the old system is totally breakdown. The whole of the governmental system has broken down. And instead, they have adopted what? Private ownership of property became dominant pattern. Now it was transformed into privatization. Capitalism means privatization. State assets were privatized. All the state's assets, like what is the meaning of assets? Means all the things like railway, transportation system, social welfare schemes, all these, whatever were there, schools, colleges, whatever things were there in that Soviet Union, all things were privatized. It led to privatization. Collective farm were replaced by private farming. Collective farming in earlier times in Soviet Union, they used to go with the collective farming. Collective farming system in economic terms means where people used to come together jointly in joint venture. They used to do the farming, and the production, whatever production comes out, they used to take it by collectively, and in that process it became beneficiary. But later on, when the system break down in Soviet Union, collective farming also replaced by private farming. All became their own individual way. They went on their own individual way. Agriculture was modeled on capitalist line. Capitalist line means they have taken up tractor, they have taken up canal system. All these new methods were coming up at that area of agriculture. Foreign direct investment and free trade system were the two main engines of economic change. Now FDI came up, foreign direct investment, because USSR, after whole lots of time, 1917 to 1991, and in 1991, after the breakdown of socialism policy, they have adopted capitalism, and capitalism means privatization, and privatization means entry of MNC or foreign direct investment. Many new companies came up and tried to enter into those independent republic areas of Soviet Union or whatever, Russia. Free trade system were also taken up at that time. Means free trade system means many people, many MNC came up and they have taken up their setting up their companies in their own terms and conditions. So when FDI came up, automatically it led to deregulation. Deregulation means governmental system has broken down and they have went up with a very liberal policy, and deregulation system came up in the whole of Russia, opening doors to foreign investment, that is FDI, obviously, and currency convertibility, because when MNC came up, many foreign companies came up, and with the coming of foreign companies, currency convertibility happened, because currency came up, many foreign currency entered into the Russian area, and that led to currency convertibility. Many states established ties, links with the West. As I have told earlier also, that many states which became independent, they were trying to establish their link with NATO, European Union, or any other Western countries for their own benefits. The whole transition process was helped by IMF and World Bank. So this whole shock therapy transition system was helped by International Monetary Fund and World Bank to some extent, but it was not that much helpful also, because IMF and World Bank were at that time created newly and like not working, that not much beneficiary for the people, for the states at that time. But then also it came up and helped to some extent. So I have drawn a diagram there, shock therapy, adoption of capitalism policy, and in the capitalism policy, with each and every arrow, they have I have given up and the whole system which were taken over by the shock therapists in the shock therapy process. Just look at that thing. Consequences of shock therapy. Now I am coming to the area of consequences of shock therapy. From another area I am studying that one, but I have written down many points here. You can just look out those points by yourself. But by looking at the points also, you can understand what is the that consequences. Now I am moving to the this book. This book has the many points which are very easy to look after. So let's start. Okay, consequences of shock therapy. So first one is, what happened when shock therapy was adopted in USSR, broken USSR or Russia? So it had brought many negative results. Instead of positive results, it brought negative results. It was not that much workable. So first one, it brought ruin to the economies of post-Soviet republics. In Russia, the state-controlled industrial complex collapsed. About 90% of its industries were put up for sale to private individuals and companies. It was called the largest garage sale in history, as valuable industries were sold at throwaway prices. 90% of the industries went up for privatization because government is not carrying up, they cannot carry up that industries. So they have sold all these industries, 90% of the industries, to the private individuals or companies. And that was called as largest garage sale. What is garage sale? That was put up like what we put in garage. Garage means what? When things are not working, many spare parts which is not working for us now. So we put up in the garage sometimes. Okay, it is like sometimes it is like a storeroom. So here this what reflect that garage sale means that it was all the valuable industries were put up at a very low prices. That was the meaning of garage sale. The value of the ruble means Russian currency decline. Automatically when a country declines, automatically country broken up means ruble also, currency also breaking up. It is coming down, falling down. The rate of inflation was high and people lost all their savings. Inflationary period came up in that period of Russia, and people lost all their savings because they don't have employment and all these things, and whatever savings they have lost it because they were normal general people and they have started losing all their savings. The collective farm system disintegrated. People had no food security. Russia was forced to import food. The real GDP of Russia in 1999 was below that of 1989. तो देखा गया क्या, कलेक्टिव फार्म जो मैंने बोला वो डिसइंटीग्रेट हो गया, और बिकॉज ऑफ द डिसइंटीग्रेशन फूड सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम, क्योंकि वो हैम्पर हो गया, प्राइवेटाइजेशन ने ले लिया, अपना अपना खुद का कलेक्टिव फार्मिंग करना शुरू किया, और जिसका बेनिफिशियरी हो रहा था उसका हो रहा था, लेकिन जिसका बहुत सारे पोर लोग थे उनका नहीं हो रहा था। और इसमें देखा गया बहुत फूड सिक्योरिटी बहुत इन 1999 रशिया वाज रनिंग थ्रू शॉर्टेज ऑफ फूड सिक्योरिटी। तो रशिया ने बाहर कंट्री से उन्होंने फूड इंपोर्ट करना शुरू किया। जीडीपी भी बहुत लो हो गया, 1999 में बहुत लो हो गया कंपेरेबल टू 1989। The old system of social welfare was destroyed. The government withdrew subsidies जो मतलब वेलफेयर स्कीम्स जो आगे था, जो मतलब पोर को हेल्प करना, एजुकेशन लेवल को बढ़ावा देना, ये सब कुछ जो भी था सब कुछ खत्म होने लगा वहाँ पे। मिडिल क्लास का जो लाइफ था वो पूरा पूरी शटर्ड हो गया था उस टाइम में। पोर सोवियत स्टेट्स वे डिवाइडेड बिटवीन रिच एंड पोर रीजन्स। तो वहाँ पे दो भाग होके आ गया, वन इज रिच एरिया, वन इज पोर एरिया। पोर लोगों के लिए कुछ भी नहीं था। रिच लोग जो थे वो प्राइवेटाइजेशन में थोड़ा सा उनका अपना पैसा था, उन्होंने फिर इंडस्ट्री पुटअप किया, उन्होंने फिर अपना इकोनॉमी रन अप किया, उनका फाइनेंस चलने लगा। As a result of shock therapy, about half of Russia's 1500 banks and other financial institutions became bankrupt. तो ऑटोमेटिकली उसमें क्या हुआ, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन बैंकक्रप्ट हो गया, क्योंकि उसमें मनी नहीं था। तो ऑटोमेटिकली शेयर होल्डर्स जो उन्होंने अपना अपना पैसा खत्म कर दिया, मतलब रनिंग लॉस्ट ऑफ एवरीथिंग लॉस्टिंग दैट टाइम। नो मच अटेंशन वाज गिवन टू द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ डेमोक्रेटिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस। डेमोक्रेटिक इंस्टीट्यूशन का नाम में खाली था, बट इट वाज नॉट वर्केबल इन ए एग्जैक्टली वेयर व्हाट एवर इज देयर। मतलब जैसे होना था वैसा नहीं हुआ था डेमोक्रेटिक इंस्टीट्यूशन वहाँ पे, और गरीब लोगों को कुछ भी नहीं मिल रहा था, कोई भी बेनिफिट नहीं मिल रहा था। और बहुत सारा न्यू स्टेट जो इंडिपेंडेंट हो गया, उसमें जो प्रेसिडेंट जो हुए, मोस्ट ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इंक्लूडिंग दैट ऑफ रशिया प्रोवाइडेड फॉर ए स्ट्रॉन्ग एग्जीक्यूटिव प्रेसिडेंट। और ये जो प्रेसिडेंट थे दे वर हैव एब्सोल्यूट पावर विथ ऑथोरिटेरियन टाइप ऑफ गवर्नमेंट। जो मैंने आगे ही बोला ये थोड़ा सा, दैट दे बिकेम ऑथोरिटेरियन, और एब्सोल्यूट पावर उनके हाथ में आ गया, और इन लोग अपने मर्जी से इनको चलाने लगे। नो इंडिपेंडेंट जुडिशरी वॉज एस्टेब्लिश्ड इन मोस्ट ऑफ दी स्टेट्स। इवन जुडिशरी सिस्टम भी खत्म, मतलब सब कुछ पूरा पूरी खत्म हो गया था रशिया में। एवरीथिंग वॉज रनिंग शॉर्ट एट दैट पीरियड। तो कैपिटलिज्म पॉलिसी जो अडॉप्ट किया वो था, लेकिन नाम में था, काम में इतना नहीं आ रहा था। फिर वही घुमा फिरा के एक ही बात आ रहा था, जिनको मिल रहा था उनको मिल रहा था, जिनको नहीं मिल रहा था उनको नहीं मिल रहा था, माने पोर पीपुल आर नॉट हैविंग एनी बेनिफिट्स। उसके बाद रशिया फिर रिकवर करने लगा बहुत दिनों के बाद। 2000 में जाके वो थोड़ा सा रिकवर करने लगा। रशिया में थोड़ा सा जैसे कि तुर्कमेनिस्तान, कजाकिस्तान, अजरबैजान, ये सब जो एरिया है उसमें थोड़ा ऑयल एंड नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस, गैस, मिनरल्स थे। तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारे फॉरेन कंट्री ने आके वहाँ पे मतलब एमएनसी बैठाया, कंपनीज सेटअप किया वहाँ पे। तो इसके कारण, और बहुत सारा गैस का पाइपलाइन भी बैठाया रशिया ने, उसके कारण बहुत सारा जगह पे जो उनका जो इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट का बिजनेस थोड़ा सा शुरू हुआ, उसके कारण इट केम अप, रशियन इकोनॉमी थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूव हुआ। फिर भी इतना नहीं हुआ जितना होना था। अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट प्रॉब्लम फिर भी था, इनकम जो पॉपुलेशन का था वो डिक्रीज अभी भी था, और सब कुछ तहस नहस हो गया था। द शॉक थेरापी जो है उसका पॉजिटिव कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस कुछ भी नहीं है, एवरीथिंग बिकेम नेगेटिव इन दैट एरिया। तो रशिया रिकवर किया बहुत दिनों के बाद, बट इन ए वेरी ड्रास्टिक मैनर, वेरी क्या बोलते हैं उसको, पेनफुल मैनर इसको। तो ये था कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस ऑफ शॉक थेरापी, द प्रोसेस ऑफ शॉक थेरापी। आप थोड़ा सा देखो इसको, देख के आप समझो, और इफ नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग प्लीज टेल मी in my WhatsApp area. Okay, thank you.